This one?
What's your T-shirt,
It
Julian?
is this one.
It's from Destiny, the video game.
Wait, what is it? Let me see. Go. Show the whole thing.
It's the Australian wildfires.
Oh, yeah. I remember that when they did that. That's nice. Is it shiny?
No, it's not, but it's probably
should.
in my top 5 favorite T-shirts of all time.
Oh, nice. That's
we're on.
Oh, is it? Oh no! Yeah, that's generally what we do, is that we just sort of jump on and we're like, hey, welcome to Geeks with Kids, the geeky podcast from Parenting Point of View. Which is funny because I'm the only one from this podcast here. It's all Strange New Pod all the time. It's been a long time since I've seen you guys, so there's that whole thing.
Oh yeah, true.
It's been like what, 5 days?
Yeah, it's not like I see messages every day from everyone.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Every day.
But that's okay, because we're talking about a movie where, these spider people come together and then, shit breaks. And then, no, I'm going to do an actual brief overview. So after reuniting with Gwen Stacy, Miles Morales is catapulted across the Spider-Verse, where he encounters a team of spider people charged with protecting its very existence. When the heroes clash about how to handle a new threat, Miles must redefine what it means to be a hero. Yeah, that's right. We're talking about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and we're joined by Strange New Pod. So we have Julian, Giraffe, and MC on board. No Hawk. He sends his regards. He's the other one of us. And then the geeks are off geeking whatever. I don't know. A lot of us haven't seen it, which is strange because it's a Spider-Man movie. Speaking of, we go on tangents, so I know, Giraffe, you'll like this. We just randomly go off on this show. So if it just pops in your head.
I've never done that in my life. I don't know how to do that.
No, but this just popped in my head. I don't know if you guys have seen the Kraven trailer. It got released today. Did you watch it, Julian?
I saw that it had been released. I didn't watch it. I should have.
Julian watched it.
No.
Oh no.
I didn't. I don't want to. I don't want to. Does this mean I don't care?
No.
I don't care.
You know what's even better?
I mean, I get it.
I watched the trailer
care.
And it gave me mediocre Venom vibes. Venom.
Ooh.
Which is sad because I like the guy who's playing Raven because of, what was he in? Kick-Ass? Yeah, Kick-Ass, right?
Yeah.
Aaron Taylor.
He looks familiar.
Yeah, he was also Quicksilver.
He was one of the Quicksilvers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was the early dead one.
Lesser Quicksilver.
The lesser of the Quicksilvers. He's doing Kraven with an American accent, which is weird because he's Russian, and he himself is British. Is he not?
He is.
I would be fine with a British accent more than a North American accent for Kraven.
Yeah.
Let's be
You know what thinks about Kraven is that we just got that awesome Spider-Man 2 trailer for the game, right?
Yep.
And Kraven is like so badass in that opening,
exactly,
cinematic. And then it's just like, I know that they've been making a Kraven movie for a while, and I just am like,
it's
meh.
It's terrible. It looks terrible. But anyway, it seems unnecessary.
Show up in any of my timelines, so
yeah.
I'm
not sure about Sony's whole idea of this Spider-Man villain universe thing. I don't.
It's like they're just taking characters and they're like, this one's popular. Let's make a movie about them. Kraven does not need his own movie.
This one we have the rights for.
Yeah, like I'm excited about like the Spider-Woman and the Spider-Verse one that they're doing with like Madam Web and stuff. Web? Yeah. Like that sounds interesting because it sounds interesting. But like Kraven, the Rhino's in the trailer, but he's sort of a mutant, I guess. Like his skin turns into like Rhino skin. I don't understand how they're gonna do it.
Is he not being played by Paul Giamatti this time?
I would have preferred that. Let's be honest. He was fine. I liked him in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I have no problem with him.
I thought the idea of a mechanized Rhino suit was pretty funny, and actually pretty neat. Like I would prefer that than a big guy in a leotard.
Oh no.
I'm
really happy I have to watch this trailer. No. I agree with you. I'm just
Well,
happy.
now I want to watch the trailer also. I'm like,
Part of me wishes I could share screen, or else I would. But Zencaster, we're trying something new tonight because I'm crazy, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. It seems. Oh, Haven's going to go watch the trailer just based on what we're saying. It's amazing. Let me tell you. So like we do, we have guests on the show, and we want to do a question like we do on Strange New Pod, but on here we usually ask for geek cred. I don't need to ask you your geek cred. You're on a Star Trek podcast. So instead, I want to know what your favorite Spider-Man character is. Whoever wants. I'm gonna go with Julian first because Giraffe is confused. Damn straight. Miles Morales.
It's Miles. Miles has been my Spider-Man since he came out, like in Bendis's run. Like I absolutely love Miles Morales. I love the character of Miles. I love his family. I love his friends. I cannot say enough. And when we got into the Spider-Verse, the first one, I was just so damn excited that we were getting him on the big screen. I'm hoping for live action at some point. I hear that's in the works, but I'll take what I can get. And these movies are amazing, but it's absolutely this guy. I love him with a passion.
Nice. MC?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Face it, Tiger. It's got to be MJ. I love her. I started reading and watching stuff of Spider-Man in the 90s when Mary Jane was really heavily featured, and she's just way too good for Peter. But kind of love that for them, and just so supportive. I wish that comic writers would stop screwing her over because I love her.
There are times when you're just like, there are times when she's just so strong as a character, and then you change writers and you're just like, oh no, why? Yeah.
I feel like all of Peter's girlfriends are way too good for him.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, Black Cat. Gwen. Yeah. I'm trying to think of other ones.
Betty.
Oh man, Betty Grant.
That's a lot of girls.
Isn't he dating currently, or was dating one of the Fantastic Four kids, like a younger version of Peter?
I hope not.
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
I don't know.
Maybe that's Miles. I don't know.
No, Miles is.
Well,
No.
I honestly love in the Ultimate books when Johnny Storm starts dating Jessica Drew, who is a clone of Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Like way before she comes out.
Yeah.
And I was always like so like the mental mind games with that was just like, so she's Peter, like she has all of Peter's memories like up till the time of cloning. So it's basically a trans woman. And now dating one of Peter's best friends. Like that introduces so many weird things into the relationship between Peter and Johnny Storm.
But it's also super awesome because they are very, very close. He's the one who gives him, Johnny's the one that gives him a bag when he loses all his clothes, right? And he puts it on his head. Oh, Johnny Storm. Giraffe, do you have one? Or
yeah, I do actually. Thank you. But okay, so I'm operating from out of everything that everybody told me about that movie that I have not seen. So let's go. I was gonna say Miles Morales because, to be honest, like I saw the first movie and I don't know, it's such a great character. But I've heard that in the new one, there's again Spider-Man Noir, and that he punches Nazis, and I'm like, yes, that's my favorite character. I like a character that is involved in some social how can I say that, like to help society. So yeah, I think and I like the style of Spider-Man Noir also,
it is a very cool character.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So yeah.
I'm
It's old school, you know,
yeah.
40s.
It's such a good book.
Spider-Man.
Like when that book came out in like 2009, it was like they had just started doing the cooler things. Okay, Haven's hot take trailer reaction. I would rather rewatch Venom 2. If I watch it, it won't be until it goes on Prime, Netflix, Disney Plus. This will probably be on Prime. I feel like, or at least in Canada, all the Spider-Man stuff goes on Prime first.
It'll probably be
Yeah.
on. Does Sony have a streaming service? I don't
No.
think they do.
No,
yet.
Sony doesn't
No,
have a
they
streaming
don't.
service. I
No.
believe, don't quote me on this, they might have a deal with HBO that they their stuff goes to Max
Max.
first,
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
which would be why it would go to Crave, and then it will go to Disney Plus.
Because
That's-
It's not on HBO. There's not anything Sony on HBO Max.
in Canada,
Hmm.
Sony has a deal with Netflix, but they sort of had a wonky thing where they started putting things on Prime. So I don't know. Sony also seems
And
very
it'll end up
weird.
somewhere.
yeah. Stream
It's been
Pros.
super hard to watch the Spider-Man movies. To be honest,
Mm.
Hmm.
they've been nowhere.
Haven
until
said that the
Disney Plus.
stream froze,
and
but I
all
don't
of them
see
are
it.
not on Disney Plus.
Are we actually frozen?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't see any freezing on our
Oh yeah,
side.
no, we're absolutely frozen. Yes,
What the
1000%. Look at us.
what
not
the
moving.
fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, the movie. Oh,
Yeah.
we're moving again.
We're
Are
moving.
we back?
Are we back?
What the
But
fuck?
I don't know if we're back.
I don't see anything changing on here. It says we're not lagging.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
it's just the delay is whack. It's like I'm showing the camera right now.
What the
I'm
fuck?
showing the stream to the camera right now. Yeah.
What I love about trying something new is that everything fucks up. So let's see, Geeks with Kids. That's us. Or this right now.
Dude, you're getting kicked out.
Aw, but kitty time is the best time. That sounded.
Started talking Everybody who's listening is just very confused. He started knocking my microphone, so he had to go.
Okay, that's
Jessica's saying we're not frozen.
fair. Okay. I don't.
So I don't know.
Where's Jessica? I don't
I
see
don't
her
know.
in the chat.
I don't know. Maybe
Oh.
just lurking.
Oh, anyway.
Yeah.
What was I talking? Oh, me. Miles Morales. Fuck yeah. When he came out in, was it 2014? I think it was
Am I
2014.
the only one who didn't say Miles? I feel
tried
bad.
to be
'cause
original.
I love
I'm
Miles.
not gonna say Miles Morales. I was like, okay, what else do I like?
But that Bendis
Like,
run is
which
so
character
good.
Resonate with me.
It's so good.
Mm.
And there's a reason why they brought him over. So that because he was so
Yeah.
popular and so good. Plus I love Donald Glover. So how could I not like Miles?
Yeah.
Also, a
Mhm.
close second, Spider-Gwen, right? Ghost Spider. Like
Yeah,
Spider-Gwen,
she's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
And all her runs
I
have
want
been
your
good.
hoodie.
It was a limited run, I'm sorry. It came out in 2016. Yeah. It's very comfy
love that.
too. I haven't been able to wear this in years, so I'm feeling very pretty right now.
Oh, white hoodie, I feel is very dangerous because I wear hoodies when I don't want to be
That's
fancy.
I wear it
Mm.
when I'm
Then I
not
stay
around the
white
kids.
Very long.
White hoodies around kids,
Brave.
very dangerous. And my daughter, my
Yeah.
eldest, wants to have this because she loves Spider-Gwen. And I'm like, once you're taller and older and more responsible, you can have it.
Not so liable to spill things.
Exactly. She'll still spill things. She's very clumsy like me. So I want to know how you guys, like when you guys watched the first movie, the first Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, like what were your reactions? Were
I'm
you
gonna
were you
start-
hyped up for it? Yeah, you go.
I'm gonna start because it's ridiculous. So I watched it, I think, in this December, very recently.
The past one?
Yeah, in the plane.
Yeah.
So
You were
I've been watching.
messaging us about it as you were watching.
When was it? Maybe it was
Yeah,
even.
you were. It's when you went to
even
France.
Oh yeah, I
when
do
went
remember
to
this.
France. Yeah. So I have a principle is that I don't buy movies that are not on streaming services, and to be honest, I have almost every single streaming services, and it has not been anywhere, so I didn't watch it.
Oh.
And then I saw it in the plane. So I saw it on my phone first of all.
This super visually impressive movie on a phone.
Not the best way to watch a movie, but I was hooked. It was so good. Even on the phone, even like so small and not great definition because it's a plane movie, right?
Mhm.
And I think that I rewatched it a second time in another plane. I think maybe coming back to Long Island or something like that. I was like, I'll watch this one. But yeah, I watched a number of Spider-Man movie in a row on the plane, and I was asking you guys which one I should watch first, because again, not available anywhere, so I was catching up. And
It-
I think what struck me the most in the movie was the music.
Oh,
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
Yes. Yes. My one qualm about the second movie is the music.
Mm.
Yeah, Julian or MC.
yeah. MC, you want to go? You want me to go?
Sure. I mean, I saw it in theaters. I love the Spider-Man movies, and I was looking forward to seeing a movie with Miles in it because, frankly, I thought it was time for Miles to just be the cinematic Spider-Man because we had already had several Peters, and I mean, of course, in this we also get several more Peters, but it's different. And it blew me away. Like everything about this was so good. Like the visuals, the music, the acting, and just like the weird things that they pulled, like getting John Mulaney to be Spider Ham. Like, I mean, come on, like that's and it's Nicolas Cage as Spider-Man Noir, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
that's a interesting pull.
Isn't
So
there Chris Pine also?
Chris Pine
Chris
is
Pine is
Peter that died.
Spider-Man. Yeah, he's Peter Parker. He's Peter A. Parker.
Yes.
the
Sure.
blonde one.
Blonde. one.
Yeah.
The blonde one. Okay, the one who.
Yep. The
Yeah.
one that
Yeah.
looks-
Okay.
It's not a spoiler.
who
That
looks
movie
like Chris
that movie's
Pine.
like 4 years old, so it's fine.
Yeah, I'm the only one who like saw it in 2023. Please.
I find it interesting that you guys don't have any of the Spider-Man on your streaming services. Is it on nothing in the States?
Well, there's
no,
like
we're not-
Homecoming and The Amazing Spider-Man on Disney Plus, but it's very recent.
They just
In
made
May.
Sony.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 But that's all.
Yeah, because for us, we had all the Spider-Man movies on Netflix, and then when
Yeah.
Disney switched them over, that's except for I think Into Spider-Verse is still on Netflix and not on Disney for
It
us.
is. Yeah.
Is it?
It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's
and I
nothing good
also-
on Netflix here.
I'm guilty because I'm not guilty. I buy all this stuff. So
Yeah,
like
me
I
too.
have the Steelbook and I just like having physical media. So if I want to watch it, I'll either throw the Blu-ray in or I'll I have it digital. So
Giraffe, here's a thing for you. Here's a way for you to buy the first movie. They have an alternate universe version where they have like alternate takes and like scenes that they cut out of the movie and they spliced it into the movie. Do you have that on your version, Julian?
I have to go and look. I don't know.
You look very surprised by that. But yeah, yeah.
I hope so. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and then they have like some are like just storyboarded or some are rough sketches, and then some are actually scenes, which is actually really good.
Nice.
Did I talk about everyone?
Everyone is asking if we're gonna have spoilers.
Yeah. Were
Yes.
you done, MC?
we are
Yeah.
we are gonna have spoilers. Haven, yes.
I saw it in theaters. I loved it. I saw it, I think, day one in theaters with Karen. We absolutely adored it. As soon as I had the Blu-ray, we watched it with the kids. They adored it.
Yeah.
So they were stoked to go see the new one. But it's just like, oh man, that visual style. And why do I always forget his name? Because he's one of my favorite. Lee Schreiber as Kingpin. Was
Right.
Yeah.
fantastic, right? I'm like a huge Ray Donovan fan, as dark and fucked up as that show is. So I love Lee Schreiber. So he was standout. That entire cast, like Haley Steinfeld should be playing live action Gwen, which is going to make things weird because she's also Hawkeye, Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
I don't care. Make it work. It would be awesome.
Oh my god.
Just do it. Yeah.
I mean, they need to do something with Kate Bishop
They do.
before
They
I'll
need to do-
care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
There's nothing makeup cannot do, you know.
Oh, exactly. And some hair dye. So
Yeah.
no, I
like
absolutely
Kate Bishop.
adored the first one.
I
love
like Kate Bishop. It's just they're not doing anything with her.
That's true. Well,
I'm more
yeah.
interested in the dog right now than anything about Hawkeye because I'm convinced the dog is Thor, and I want to be right. And when I will be right, you will come back and be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that you're right. That the dog is Thor."
I really hope that's true. I really do, because that would
I'm
be
telling
amazing.
you, this
That
is
would be the
the only way.
That would be the best
I'm here
thing
for it.
Marvel ever did. It would be. MC, did you
Dog
talk
is
about your
Thor.
MC? Did you talk
What?
about your first time into the Spider-Verse? I can't remember.
She did.
You did? I can't remember.
Did I?
No.
You said you saw it in theaters, right?
Yes.
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 Okay,
You're
I can't
already
remember.
Confused.
I'm old and
And we're
tired.
26 minutes in.
I should have put a round table. Like generally we just jump in and out. That's why I didn't put an order like we do on Straight to
I'm
Bond.
sorry, I'm older and tireder,
You're
so
not
I had
older.
no idea what you were saying.
I'm pretty sure I'm
Yes,
older.
I am.
Are you? I doubt. You look younger.
40.
I'm 41. Oh wait, I'm 42.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
See how old I am? We've lost it. Is what
MC and myself were the same age.
Are we all? So I mean we're all
Yep.
Julian's just the baby, is what we're saying. We're all the same age,
Yeah.
except for Julian.
Julian is the baby. Yeah.
Yep.
This is why I have Hawk around, so I feel young.
I'm really sad that Hawk's not here to round out the entire.
Yeah, the craziness.
SMP.
We should just message him and be like, just jump on. Giraffe hasn't seen the movie.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
sh-
like, look at me. I'm here, and I didn't watch the movie. So
Yeah. You should someone message him. He'll jump on. I'm sure he will. For myself, I got to see the movie early. I saw Into the Spider-Verse like a month early. We got invited to see a screening. But then after the screening, they're like, you can't talk about the movie, but you can say, yeah, you liked it. I was like, you fuckers. Why would you tell us that? It was amazing. But it was cool because they had also invited kids and stuff to the screening, and they were so hyped, and it was such a cool experience. And that's why I showed my kids, because of that reaction, and because it's an amazing movie. Anyways, this movie got announced, and the hype was fucking insane. Like, I'm pretty sure this has been the most hyped movie I've seen this year so far. I don't think I've seen anything else that has been quite so, up there.
You have. You
Fla-
saw The Flash, which was super hyped. And
That is very
But that was hyped in a
super-
different way. That was more controversy hyped.
Right.
Eh.
No, you're not wrong. You're not
That-
wrong. You're not wrong.
What was that phrase you said, MC, about aggressively
aggressively fine.
it was aggressively fine. I will agree with that. When they announced this movie, how was your anticipation? What did you think? Like then they announced it was 2 movies. Anyone?
I stopped everything. I stopped everything. We were whenever the trailer came out. I don't know if it was Matt or one of you guys that messaged me,
It might have
or
been
I
me.
just I knew the trailer was coming out. And like Karen and I sat and watched it, and just were like, "Give it to me." The money gift, like, shut up and take my money. Like, give it to me now. Even more so that it was I don't want to be wrong on this, but I'm not. I am 99% sure we also got the entire that entire scene where Gwen comes back in front of No Way Home. They showed it. So I think we got like that 5-minute IMAX trailer, which was even more hype. So I was just like so ready. Yeah, they showed the whole bedroom scene where she's like, "Well, is Spider-Man grounded?" It's like, no. They showed all of that, and then like an actual trailer.
I should have saw that in IMAX then.
I'm 99% sure that's where we saw that, but it was definitely in theaters, and I was super stoked.
I'm just gonna
hyped.
believe you.
Yeah, you should. I'm probably
Yeah.
probably
I
right.
mean, when I saw the first movie, I knew that like there was absolutely no way that they couldn't do a sequel to it. And of course, we now know sequels. Because I mean, it was, massively successful. It won all of the awards. And this is one section of Spider-Man which Sony has much more control over than with their other Spider-Man stuff. So yeah, I mean, it had to happen, and this is like the perfect time for it because I probably talk more about this, but how this movie like has been like like the first movie was a prelude to everything they are doing in phase 5 of the MC or phase 4 and 5 of the MCU.
And they're doing
And
it
how
better.
this one very much kind of slides right into that with like all of the multiverse. And of course it also is like let's show you how to do the multiverse.
Right?
So yeah, and when I saw the trailer, hyped. It looked great. I wanted to see it. I did see it in theaters before a Marvel movie. I was absolutely in from moment one. Then I kind of forgot that it was coming out, and then when I heard that it was coming out, I was like, I need to go right now.
Yeah.
That sounds like me.
Yeah. you
Well, I saw the first one knowing that the second one was gonna come out already, so
you're like, you might as well go see it.
Okay. Wait. Okay, give me a second. So I've been really disappointed in Spider-Man in the past because the movies were very bad. Okay, so I was like hyped for like. Sorry, am I saying something forbidden?
No.
No.
I
Okay.
think-
So
no.
like I remember watching like I think the first one, like what is it, like the amazing, like the one with what's his face, Andrew Garfield.
Garfield?
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. I remember going to the cinema watching this and being like, oh my god, that movie fucking sucks. Oh, I'm sorry. Can we swear in your show?
Fuck yes. Fuck yes.
Okay. And then I think I watched the second one. There's two with Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
No?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's one
And it was the same thing. And I gave up on Spider-Man. I was like, I don't want to watch.
Did you not see
Spider-Man
any of the
anymore.
Tobey Maguire ones?
Oh yeah, no. Sorry, I started with Tobey Maguire. Sorry, and I didn't like it. See, I don't even remember. Like, I was young. It was another era. We didn't think pandemics existed. Like, it was another time.
The early 2000s.
Other time. Yeah, early 2000s. I was young. Like I was half the age I'm now. Like,
Oh god.
so,
Thought we just
when
stopped
I
talking
think
about
I
the old
started
comics.
being interested by Spider-Man again, when like we saw what's his face in the Marvel movies.
Oh,
Tom
Tom
Holland?
Holland.
Tom Holland, yes.
Yeah, in Civil War, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Civil War. Yep.
And then when he started dating Zendaya, that's where I was like, okay, I'm gonna give Spider-Man a chance because I can't be mad at Spider-Man anymore because there's Zendaya in it, So I had like an entrance to
It's a
it.
Spider-Man with flawless taste.
It's true.
Exactly. I'm like,
It is
deal, and I'm gonna be here for that. But then I couldn't watch them anywhere, so I'm catching up. I'm still not totally I mean, I love the movie, but I'm not in love with Spider-Man yet, in the idea that I've been hurt. So I'll watch the thing on TV. I'm not going to the cinema for it, even if I know I'm gonna fucking love it.
Mhm.
I'm taking it slow. We're taking it slow, Spider-Man and me.
Giraffe sounds like
that's
every
fair.
one of Spider-Man's love interests.
Yes, I could be Zendaya. Couldn't I?
I
Look
might
at me.
kidnap you next week and take you to the theater to see this. I'm just saying.
I don't go to the theaters anymore.
Yeah, but we'd have fun,
Mm.
and it'd be really
Yeah,
fun.
but like
We're
people
so
are
good.
there are people, and the people are not good in theaters.
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong.
Yeah. I told
No.
her my
Theater-
watching story, and it was like the couple to my right that were for some odd reason having a loud ass conversation, and then the stoners on my left that were just stoned. Which was sort of funny at times, but still, they're sort of annoying. Yeah, people suck. But what doesn't suck is this fucking movie. We're gonna get into spoilers really soon. I'm debating whether we just go through the whole plot and then just sort of jump in the whole time, or if we break it down.
You
I'm
do
debating.
that because I've not watched the movie. So if you tell the plot, I will have stuff to say.
Yeah, we'll talk about the plot then. But before we get into that, before we get into the spoiler section, MC and Julian, I just want like a 2-second spoiler free review of this movie. MC.
It was great. I thought that they took the first movie and took it up to 11.
Nice. Julian.
Yeah, I did not think that they could do better than Into the Spider-Verse with the animation and the characters and the writing, and they somehow have managed to do that, and it was fantastic, and it is my movie of the year so far.
Yes. This is Empire Strikes Back to the first movie. It's better in every
Yes.
single way. And it made me audibly gasp so many times. I was probably fucking annoying in that movie too, because I kept like going.
So the other people were like, I went to see that movie, and there was like that guy there. He kept like making noises.
It's not my fault. It's so visually astounding, and we'll talk about that because we're gonna start at the beginning of the movie, where the whole movie, like the first movie, was started off by Peter Parker narrating about his time as Spider-Man, and this one starts off with Spider-Gwen, or Spider-Woman, or Ghost Spider as she's known, on Earth 65, and it sort of tells her story about how her best friend Peter Parker died at her hands because he had taken a lizard serum. This is basically the same story that was in her run in 2016. And it's heartbreaking because her father, who's a police captain, is also searching for Spider-Woman because, he thinks that she killed her best friend. Yeah, that makes sense in my brain. And then, Captain Stacy goes off, and there's this whole event at an art museum, and we find out that a vulture from a different Earth, in a Renaissance paper, like Da Vinci drawn. This is my first audible gasp in the movie because
it's so good.
The art style in this movie is fucking insane. So Spider-Gwen goes there. She tries to stop him. And then Miguel O'Hara, a.k.a. Spider-Man 2099. Did they just call him Spider-Man in this movie or just Miguel? I think it's just Miguel, right?
He was just Miguel.
Miguel the entire time.
Yeah, that's
exactly. Yeah.
I guess you can't really call everyone Spider-Man or Spider-Woman. That would get confusing.
Well, that's you to the point.
You? Him? You? So Miguel shows up and, starts kicking ass. Not always taking names. He waits for his backup, which is Jessica Drew, another Spider-Woman, a pregnant black version of Jessica Drew, which is amazing, on a fucking motorcycle, and then they team up together and kick the Vulture's ass. Yep, go for it.
We have
Jump
to
in
go
at
back
any
for
time.
a second,
Yeah.
because as Star Trek fans, we went completely over the fact that Gwen's Peter Parker is Jack Quaid.
Oh yeah.
He is?
Yeah, he played by Jack Quaid. He's everywhere. He's in Oppenheimer soon.
Jack Quaid is so bankable.
Superman.
I love this.
He's
for him.
Superman in the animated
Superman.
series.
He's here. He's there.
He's everywhere.
Fucking where Jack Quaid.
I mean, is he a Nepo baby? A little bit.
Yeah,
He's very much a Nepo baby.
but he's so good, so I don't care.
Yeah.
So after the Spider people defeat Vulture, Captain Stacy tries to arrest Gwen. She reveals her identity, and he still tries to arrest her because he's hurt, he's dead, he feels betrayed. That doesn't matter because Miguel knocks her out, and they offer her a place in the Spider Society. What did you guys think of this beginning of this movie?
I have a question first.
Yes, yeah, go for it. Giraffe hasn't seen the movie, so
um,
she's just gonna be questioned later.
Yeah, I have a question. Vulture is Michael Keaton, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm
But
good. I'm
this one
following.
is from like a alternate universe
Yeah.
of
I
Leonardo
was
da
like-
Vinci. So it's very cool. Like,
Mhm.
But Janeway wasn't.
I'm just proving that I've watched some of the movies.
okay, fair enough.
Fair,
Watch this
fair.
one. It was
What-
not bad. I like this. I liked it.
What'd you think about the movie starting off from Gwen's perspective as opposed to Miles, or we assumed it would have been Miles or one of the
Always
Peters?
like having a lady's perspective first
shit.
thing.
Yeah. I adored it. I adored everything about the scene. It's also like one of the most heartbreaking scenes in a movie ever. It's so freaking good. I was like torn up watching her pull off the mask, put her hands up, and still having him like want to arrest her. It's just like this movie starts so freaking strong and so fast, and then just with that moment is just okay. It's like we're in for a wild and emotional ride, and I adored it.
It's interesting because at the end of the first movie, I got the feeling that Gwen had always had all of her shit sort of together, but she's sort of out of sorts at the beginning. Maybe it's because she had interaction with all these people. Maybe it's because she does seem to have this really close connection with Miles, and we sort of see the same thing happen to Miles. He's more confident in his spidering abilities. We see that in the next sequence. But he's still sort of all over the place. He misses his friends that he had met. Misses people that he could truly share that whole part of his being, because he can't, come to his parents and tell them what, his big secret.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that?
Of course, it's also like with Gwen, it's this very dark foreshadowing of the whole, like the parts of canon that comes up in this movie. That we have, the death of, in most universes it's Gwen Stacy, but in hers it's Peter Parker, and then the fight between the Spider Person and the Captain. And it's even more heartbreaking because instead of being Peter versus Captain Stacy, it's her dad. Yeah. And it does set up what is going to come later.
I can't wait to talk about the canon stuff. Like, I'm very
excited. Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth with that, because it is such a reversal, right? It's such a reversal of the first Andrew Garfield film, almost, right? Mm-hmm. I absolutely, well, I found it really interesting because it is, I know you want to talk about canon in a bit, just I'll say briefly, like, it is very much a more canon version of Gwen, because Gwen in the comics, if I remember correctly, does not really have her shit together at all, at least early on. So I really like seeing this, like, on the screen.
I think it's a pretty common thread for all the Spider people. They sort of, tragic thing happens and they sort of just have to figure that shit out.
Sorry, I totally forgot to talk about Miles.
I really am looking forward to talking about how I think their version of canon is wrong, or at least Miguel's version of canon.
Oh, I so want to talk about that too. So.
Yeah, sweet. Okay, so we get to meet the big nemesis of these next two films, and that's a Spot, and he's played by Jason Schwartzman in this very comedic take, and we find out that he was a scientist at Alchemax in the first movie who got hit by a bagel. Do you remember that bagel moment, Giraffe? Nope. Yeah, he's the bagel guy. But because the collider had exploded, all these wormholes sort of became part of him and became part of his skin, and he sort of has this ability to teleport. Miles defeats him, makes fun of him, and he sort of takes it seriously and realizes that he can go across to different universes. And this is really our first look into the Spider-Verse. We get to see different sequences of him going into like a different Manhattan. We get to see another we get to see the Venom-verse, which,
Venom-verse,
which is at least we didn't see the Craven-verse. Good lord. What do you guys think of this introduction of Spot as a sort of he's sort of a comedically shitty character, but they made him sort of awesome at the same time? Yeah.
I was worried at first because I didn't know where they were going with it. So when he was comedic, I'm like, it was going on for too long. And then I understood it. And when he goes just full supervillain, I was like, okay, now it makes sense. And now I'm here for it. I did think his intro was like a touch, like they could have maybe cut some minutes from it. But once it got going and we see him become like, super Spot. Super Spot? I like that. Super Spot. Then I got really into it. But it was a little slow going for me at first.
Mm-hmm. I think he was a really interesting choice because I think one of the problems with the live action movies, at least until we got to Tom Holland, is that they were constantly hitting the same supervillains. Like it was always Goblin, Doc Ock, kind of like the big ones, and Spot not so big, like always kind of a joke character.
Yeah.
And this, first of all, you know, it's not, he is actually Miles's arch nemesis, as opposed to somebody he inherited from Peter
Yes.
Parker,
Mm-hmm.
which is very nice. And they do, I do agree that they could have cut down that opening comedic fight, like that went on for too long, but
So
it was a really nice establishing him as comedic and then setting him as somebody who can destroy everything.
Giraffe?
Giraffe has a
wait,
question.
is like is Arc Nemesis in the comics?
Not in the comics.
Oh, in the movie.
In the movie.
No, in the movie.
No, just
though.
in the movies.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
It's like
basically
it's the Arch
you
Nemesis
knew,
origin story.
so you knew going in that that was not gonna be the big villain, right? But just like
Well,
for funsies.
we knew he was the
Oh,
big
no.
villain in the movie. He is the big villain in the next two movies. But in the comics, he's
I actually
Okay.
didn't know he was going to be the
Really?
big villain. I
didn't
just thought
either.
he was
Oh.
going to be like a, you know,
one-off.
a
Yeah,
fight
because if
scene,
you have
'cause-
like a comedic villain, you know, you don't expect. No.
Well, he's only
Am I
really comedic.
misunderstanding
Like,
what you're talking about, you guys?
So it's comedic at the beginning of the film,
Mhm.
right? Because he's robbing a bodega and doing it horribly, but he keeps succeeding because he has holes in him and
Yeah.
like he can do stupid shit. So Miles keeps like not getting the job done correctly. So there's like he's got like funny like one-liners and Miles keeps fucking up. So that's like where it's funny but goes on for a little bit too long. So it starts out comedic, but then you get his whole, well, fuck, he made fun of me. He's not
Mhm.
taking me seriously. I have this amazing power that I can make even more amazing and basically, you know, I don't even actually quite understand his intent, but you know, I think he's just wanting to destroy the multiverse.
That's
if
what
I'm
I
not
get, too.
mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
like
He's
if he
trying to like absorb power from every
Yes,
different
exactly.
universe.
Yeah, from
And the
everyone.
thing is, Miles is the one who like gets him to get more power because he kind of realizes he has this power when he gets sucked up in his own spot.
he gets kicked in his own ass.
Yes.
Giraffe's look is
Sucked up
perfect.
into his own ass.
He-
That's what you
No.
said.
That's literally what happened.
It's a quote. It's a quote from the movie.
Yeah.
What's more tragic is that
Okay.
he would have just been a villain of the week if Miles wasn't making fun of him the whole time, right? He
Yeah.
got hurt. Like he actually
Yep.
his feelings were hurt, and I sort of felt bad for him at times until he sort of went psycho. But you know, we'll get
What's
to the
his motivation?
revenge, purely
Revenge.
for
It's literally
Just revenge.
Yeah.
It's a good motivation. I like a
It is.
villain with a revenge motivation.
yeah.
Yep.
He feels spurned for the.
Yeah, I mean, he's white with big spots all over him.
He looks
that
like a cow.
sucks stuff up into.
He does
Yeah.
look like a cow.
he does.
He's basically like Rorschach from The
I was just-
Watchmen, but all over.
Yeah, and it's his skin. It's not a suit. It's his skin.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
He's missing a hat.
Oh, that would be good. Except the hat would get sucked in.
Right.
Anyway, that's not important. I was gonna go up over to Mumbai, Mumbattan, but I sort of want to talk about
Mumbattan, yeah.
Miles's parents because Miles is at this
Yes.
point in his age. He's 16, so he's thinking about university, and he wants to go off and discover things. He wants to become a person, but his parents are they're sort of hovering over him, I want to say, but with good cause because he's sort of all over the place because he's Spider-Man and he can't tell them about it. And Miles's mom has this amazing chat with him about, don't forget that little boy that's there. Like as you grow, don't forget being that pure person because that's what makes him special. And it's one of those moments where I'm sitting there like, oh man, I want to be like this parent and I need to be better at times. What did you think about their relationship and how it's evolved from that younger kid that we saw in the first movie to, this newer, more mature relationship, I guess?
MC, I saw you get excited. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I love about all of the stuff with his family is that his family is actually an Afro-Latina family. They are
Yeah.
not a white family that happen to be colored brown.
Yeah.
There's so much actual work and detail put into like appreciating the culture that they're coming from. And I think that really informs who Miles is as a character, and it informs his parents as well. And I don't think that any of the decisions Miles makes in this movie happen if he doesn't have those conversations with his mother, and he doesn't have the conversations with his father, including the one when he's Spider-Man and he's talking to his dad, and he's just like, maybe you should, give him a break sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love Miles's relationship with his parents, which is obviously something that we don't get with Peter Parker because his parents are always dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Like all good superhero, you need dead parents.
Except they don't
That's what
matter
you
to
need.
him. It's his aunt and uncle that matter to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, even that, I mean, Uncle Ben's always dead.
Always
so,
dead.
like,
Yeah, it's true.
Right? I absolutely adore the family dynamic. And Eric, I just like, I have to repeat what you said, man. Like watching those scenes, I'm like, I'm such a fucking horrible parent. Like, why can't I talk to my kids like that? I want to so bad. And like, they're 7 and 4, so it's a different ages. I'm not talking to a teenager, but I'm like, oh man, I do need to do better. So sometimes, going what you said, MC, about like them being like a true like Afro-Latina family. I just also want to point out that they did this really well in Spider-Man Miles Morales for PS5.
Yep.
As
Agreed.
well. Like the family dynamic, like it is like those games, like you play them to be Spider-Man, right? Like swing around the city and do cool shit, but like the moments that you get to spend in that game as Miles and like interact with his family are really good. So to get to see this like, on the screen again is really fantastic. And his mom is just like absolutely so genuine. And his dad, I think he does want to give him like a bit of a longer leash, right? But at the same time, like he can't. And I get the struggle.
Especially with his uncle Aaron, right? Like he knows what path could have happened.
He knows, what path he went down. What I do appreciate about Miles not telling his parents, it's the whole superhero, you protect the ones you love. As much as I want his parents to know in these movies, it's so refreshing that they don't, because like Jesus fucking Christ, in The Flash, everybody knew who the Flash was, and they all became fucking superheroes. Oh, hey, on The Flash, do you want a superhero suit? Hey, on The Flash, do you want a superhero suit? Like,
I do.
it's okay not to tell people. I do too. But it's like, it's okay not to tell people, and it's okay to have that secret. And I'm sure we're going to get the, well, why didn't you just tell me moment? But for now, it's good. It really helps the story, and it makes this family dynamic really interesting.
I really appreciated Miles's parent, because first of all, they're a policeman and she's a nurse, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, which like they're not like some scientist, some like doctor. They're normal people. And I appreciate seeing the other the everyday people, the service workers. And I'm the daughter of a nurse, so I recognize the hustle, the I need to go to work, you do your thing, you're doing your homework, I'm gonna go, I'm coming back, I'm gonna check on you. Like that was the dynamic at home also. But I really also appreciate the uh the positive masculinity that we see his father display, because that's not often that you see a positive um, male figure that is a black man. It's rare. It's more and more now. You see these father figures. I mean, Ben Cisco forever.
And Cisco vibes, right?
Sorry.
I was going to say like hardcore Ben Cisco vibes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And surfing also on the what the society question about having a black man who's a policeman. And I think they did it very elegantly and very truthfully in the first movie. I will add that I'm glad that he doesn't tell his parent that he's Spider-Man, because that's so textbook teenager. A
Mhm.
teenager, that's why you need good adults around your
Yeah.
kids, because they will not talk to you. This is what they do, and that's good. That's developmental. You need to, you know, take a step out back from your parents. So no, I'm here for him not telling his parents. This is great.
Yeah. I think what I appreciate is how genuine the relationship feels. Like when they have the parent teacher meeting,
Yeah.
and they find out that Miles is getting a B in Spanish, and she's just like like that is such a perfect thing. Like if my parents ever thought that I was doing bad in like Tagalog or something, they'd be like, "What do you do? No, you're doing bad in
Do you know
math.
how
You're
common that
Asian."
is?
Yeah.
Do you know how common that is?
Yeah.
Because there's a disconnect between the language that is your language that you speak at home
Yeah,
and the learning it into a
Mhm.
class.
for
Like
sure.
I see it. I work in international schools, and you see it all the freaking time,
Yeah.
because there's the heart language and the academic language are two totally different
Though it
things.
actually does come up later because Miguel speaks a lot of Spanish
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Miles is very lost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I love that moment because also it's like right after
The spot fight.
his parents are told that he's getting like a C, and Rio is just like, oh, that's fine. But then the B in Spanish is
Just like, no.
like a B in Spanish.
It's amazing. Also the conversation Miles has with his dad when he's like, people of your generation, I'm really down with your feelings and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, that's so true. Expressing your feelings. It's such a good relationship that he has with his parents, even though sometimes it is Spider-Man with it. So Gwen ends up showing up in his universe, and they go on this adventure, and he finds out that Gwen is actually there to spy on the Spot. She's the one who tells him about the Spider Society, and she ends up jumping off into another universe to try and stop the Spot, and Miles goes after her. And over in Mumbatan, which is a Mumbai version of Manhattan, we meet a new Spider-Man, the first of the new Spider-Mans, which is Spider-Man India, which is Paviter Prabhakar, and he is so fucking cool. What did you think of this first new Spider-Man? The first new Spider-Man we get to see in this movie is Spider-Man India.
Oh, one of my beloveds. Spider-Man India and Spider-Punk, just both of them.
And he's the next one that
It's all
shows up.
about them,
Oh
yeah.
man, Hobie.
Like, they picked such good ones for this movie.
Mhm.
And the way the art style is different for all of them, just beautiful. And of course they do the repeated origin stories for here's the captain, here's my girlfriend, all of this stuff, and they're able to fit it in so quickly and just compactly. It just works really
You might
well.
as well go into Hobie as well.
Oh, and Hobie, I can't even with the animation on Hobie. Just
Have you heard how they animated him? Normally in animation, people, all of the animators do a person on one, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'd be one, it'd be the main keyframe. For Hobie, different parts of him were the keyframe. So I think the vest was animated on 2s, and then he was animated on 4s, and then just because he's punk, it just wouldn't follow the rules sometimes and would just switch up at times. So he was always in flight. He was anarchy in animation is what they wanted to convey. And it, again, audible gasps when all of these people showed up, because like you said, Mumbatan, God, it's so hard for me to say, was visually stunning. All of these different universes also have a different hue. Mumbatan was a bit of a yellow goldish, which was sort of the
right?
Yeah, it was the hue that they got in the comic book. So they really nailed it all. Julian, I jumped in before you for Spider-Man India and Hobie.
That city and the amount of work that like the animators had to put into making that, and just like that entire set piece with like saving the captain and it was incredible. Like, it was just freaking incredible. And don't get me started. So I was telling you guys off mic before we started, I created my own little Spider-Verse as we were starting.
As you should.
Here he is, man.
Ah, nice.
Fucking hope.
Nice.
Oh man.
And he's voiced by Daniel Kaluuya.
Yes.
Yep. Nice.
Who's perfect in that role. Oh my god.
What more can you say about him? Like, he's just so cool. And that's the whole point. Like, Spider-Punk's supposed to be cool. He's a punk and he doesn't follow the rules. And having like this whole thing and them all swinging together, and oh god, it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Everything on the bridge was so, like, I feel like we're just gonna keep saying the word beautiful for this movie because it just doesn't end. But this was probably, I think, my favorite like art style that they used the entire movie. Like, just everything about how, like, what would Manhattan look like if it was India, and they captured it perfectly. It was insane.
No,
Loved it.
There's a reason why I was the annoying audible gas person at the movie theater. It's because every time they go to a new world, it's just like, it's something you've never seen. Like, there are things I never thought I would see on screen, and that, or even could conceive of, like that vulture in the first battle. I never, not even close to a thought in my brain.
About, like, having to like put him in there, and then like the clash of artistic styles, and yet it you know, it works. It's absolutely wild. I also loved the sound effects for that. Like, with what are they called? The bracelets.
The Bengals.
The Bengals. The way that anytime he'd do his webbing, you would hear them like jingle. It was
the
really
sound that they did in the comic book too, which is amazing. I don't understand how, man.
The glorious animation on his hair.
Yes. Oh my god. So this is what Julian touched upon, was one of the canon events we had talked about earlier, and basically what happened is the captain of this Mumbatan was saved by Miles and Paviter, and that wasn't supposed to happen because, you know, there's supposed to be this tragic event, and we find out this when we go over to Earth 928. God, that is a terrible name. Spider-Man 2099's New York, which you know, is the future one. After the event in Mumbatan, they go into the future. They meet Miguel, who is the leader of all the spider people, after a hilarious Easter egg sequence where we see 400,000 spider people.
Maybe more.
Yeah. And Miguel starts talking about how each Spider-Man has a certain set of rules that they have to sort of adhere to because that's their story. That's what happens, you know. Peter becomes Spider-Man because his uncle dies. Gwen became Spider-Woman because, you know, Peter died. There was a death in the family. But generally what happens is that there's a captain that tries to save someone, and that captain dies. And this is all based on, I think, Amazing Spider-Man, was it 92? I think it was 92, where Captain Stacy dies in the original Spider-Man run. And this is their canon event. And every time a canon event breaks, universes start breaking down. What are you guys' thoughts on this whole canon? This is a better version of the multiverse than we got in Doctor Strange. But what do you think of this?
I have no opinion about the canon, but you totally jumped me about Spider-Man India.
You weren't there. Sorry. I'm sorry. I assumed you didn't.
Tell us your opinion,
waiting for everybody to be done.
Sorry.
I'm
What
just
is
gonna say that?
Yeah.
If you have not read the breakdown of all the cultural references that are in the Spider-Man India costume, you should, because it's absolutely whack, and people keep finding more. I don't know how many
that's
there are
cool.
right now. So
I know they updated it for the movie, so that's cool. That's so cool. Any other things?
That's
Giraffe?
all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Canon events. I know we wanted to talk about it. It's a very big thing.
It's a huge thing. Like, it's the movie, right? Like, this is what the movie is.
And it's not just this movie. It's the MCU.
No.
It's everything.
You know,
everywhere all at
Star
once.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
you know that this is maybe alluding to maybe some future event even in the MCU when Miguel mentions Peter and Strange from No Way Home, right?
Yeah.
Like all the shit that happened there. It could lead to that.
I think it might. I think it will. I think they're trying to connect everything, which is really amazing.
No, they are. I mean, look, we had MCU characters show up in here, right? We had Sonyverse characters, we had MCU characters. You know, just like awesome. Like, dude, Ben Reilly's in this movie. Like,
Ben Reilly. Oh my god.
Yeah.
We'll get to Ben.
I have so many feelings.
So many feelings. So many
I'm
feelings.
so confused. I really need to go watch that movie.
The canon stuff, like, I just don't know what to think, right? Because are they trying to, and you guys can tell me, are they trying to say that canon should be adhered to, or canon really should not be taken as seriously as it should be? Because that's the whole reason why Miles leaves, right? Because he wants to go
Do his own
canon.
thing.
Is this like, yeah, right? Like, is this whole movie basically like alluding to like basement gatekeepers of the canon? Like, I just don't know.
This is funny because do you guys care about the Flash movie?
No.
I don't want to be.
No, because I already know the big ending thing.
I can take my headphones off.
But also, like, the thing is, there's people listening who might care about the Flash.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Never mind. I won't mention it. MCU go.
You just forgot all the listeners. You forgot you were here.
I was just talking to you guys. It's fine. That's what we do. I think it's
us.
just conversation.
Okay, canon events. These are the fixed points that were mentioned in the What If episode about Doctor Strange trying to stop Christine Palmer's death. It's the same as the Nexus events that are mentioned in Loki. It's something that's been seeded all through these MCU movies. The only thing is they're being interpreted through a grief-stricken guy who doesn't actually know who has his own idea what's going on. He's trying to justify what happened to him by putting it onto an entire universe. And I mean, like, the thing is, like, the Nexus events and Loki and all of these different events, like, we're gonna find out, like, exactly, everybody's got their agendas and this kind of stuff. But I do think the canon events, they can't possibly happen in every single universe.
And we see that later too.
There's too many different versions of Peter Parker, and I mean, not even all of them are Peter Parker, because you have Gwen, who was a Spider-Man, Spider-Bite, who is it Margot? Is Spider-Bite?
Is that her name?
I
can't
don't
remember
even
her
know who
name.
Spider-Bite is.
She's the hologram.
Yeah.
She's the hologram. Okay, cool.
And Miguel is not a Peter Parker. So I mean, like, if it was canon for all of it, the Spider-Verse is not like one, one person. It's, I mean, there's Peter Parked car. Come on. Like there's
the question is that, can you have Spider-Man without the grief? Because
see, that's the issue. Is they're not saying it's the grief. They're saying it's a certain person has to die.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's the canon event. I think the canon event is that they have a mentor and a friend that dies, and someone close to the family, and that's what sort of moves them forward.
They're grieving a mentor and a friend,
Yeah.
so it's about grief.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, are they creating patterns out of stuff that doesn't exist? Because I mean, like, they're superheroes. Like, of course dangerous stuff is going to happen.
Yeah.
And if you look at like a bunch of the canon events, like, it's stuff that's like, well, of course Spider-Man's going to do it. Because like one of the canon events is like throwing away the suit, or getting married, or holding up a pile of rubble. It's like, these are not like
losing powers.
This is stuff that of course it's going to happen, like, and it's not going to be a world-ending thing. And the whole thing with Mumbattan, the whole opening up as soon as that version of the Captain is saved, it's like the Spot has been creating havoc in that world.
Exactly.
Like, of course something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I also, sorry, Eric, go ahead.
No, and just knowing Miles' story and them thinking that it's going to be the father dying when in the comic. Wait, is this a spoiler for people? The comic book version? Oh.
I mean, like, it happens in the first movie.
No.
Listen, we're talking about a movie I have not seen, so I don't care
No,
about
no.
spoilers.
This would be a spoiler in the next movie. Like in the comic book, Miles' dad doesn't die, right? It's his mom.
He dies in
He dies in the video game.
He dies in the game.
Yeah,
he dies
so
in Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
But it's always one of his parents, which is sad.
Yeah, but I mean, also he's got his uncle.
His uncle didn't
like,
die in the comic book or in the video game.
He died in the first movie.
Yeah, so see, that's his grief moment. Like Draft was saying, like he has his moment.
Yeah,
you know, it's like when people ask, like, do you have to be tortured and like, you know, sad and depressed to be an artist? No, you don't. But most of the good artists are.
right.
It's true. It's true.
Maybe we should talk about Ben Reilly now with talking about being tortured.
No, but you know, before we get, I want to say, going back to like what we were talking about, like it all being connected, right? Like, and we're talking about the Nexus events in Loki. When I was watching this movie, I couldn't help but think that if they are going to try and do like the giant multiverse, and these are going to be somehow connected to the MCU, is that maybe Miguel is somehow a pawn of Kang, right?
Ooh,
See, that's
I
a good
like it.
question.
Right? Because who else, like if you have like a broken guy to do your bidding and think he's doing the right thing, it's kind of like the perfect cover, right?
Mhm.
I don't know. I could not stop thinking about that during the movie and after I got out of it.
That would be
But
amazing.
is it really Kang to have like to be hidden and have a pawn that nobody knows that he's a pawn?
But yeah, because he did the TVA.
There's also so many different
True.
versions of Kang that you know you can't really.
Yeah.
Each of them have their own like weird agenda.
As much as I would love that, I don't see Marvel giving a character over to Sony purely from the background view. Like,
Right.
that would be really cool.
Well,
but-
I mean, it could be Sony setting things up for Marvel to use them later on in the MCU, because I would be fine
that's
with live action Miguel O'Hara played by Oscar Isaac.
Who would you
Yeah.
cast? Sorry, what did you say?
Oh,
Oscar.
Miguel is voiced by Oscar Isaac, so like I would like stick with that.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
I don't know who I'd
I was
want
like,
as
I mean,
Miles.
but I guess
Cast
he's
everybody.
Moon Knight, isn't he? So
Yeah, he is Moon Knight.
Yeah,
He's Moon Knight. Yeah, that would be a lot. Well, a little bit of makeup, dye his hair.
Makeup does wonders. So we said earlier.
Yeah, if we can have Kate Bishop everywhere, we can have Moon Knight everywhere. Why not?
or maybe Miguel is just another
He's another
identity.
Moon Knight.
Oh my God, he's just another identity.
Now we're talking.
So we meet Peter B. Parker in this version, and you know, after the big chase sequence, Peter tries to calm him down, and he tells him that he started a family because of Miles and how good of a kid he was, and he thought that if he could raise someone as good as Miles, he thinks he could do it. He could be a dad, and he's sort of this father figure that makes me think that he might die later in this series. Like he might be the father figure that dies.
Dads all have to die.
I know. That's the thing. What do you think of this evolution of Peter B. Parker being this sort of dad and mentor? Like he was already a mentor, but now he has a kid and he still wants to do the right thing, but he's sort of stuck in this, you know, in this group. He has to do the right thing for his events. Julian, you look like
I do. I love Beer Belly Peter. I love him. I adore him, and I adore that he's baby wearing. And they're like, okay, and Giraffe's been talking about it, and like this movie is just so full of representation for everybody, right? People of color, LGBTQ, parents, like normalize, like, dude. The amount of times when I was doing the solo dad thing and baby wearing kids and the stupid ass comments that I would get and the looks, like just to normalize something as simple as baby wearing, right? Like,
do you remember when
it's just
Daniel
like,
Craig was wearing that that carrier
Yeah.
and people were giving him so much shit. He's like,
Yeah.
what? I
It's
had to bring my kid
Positive
around.
masculinity. Let's
Positive
have more
masculinity. And I'm just like,
positive masculinity in movies.
it made me feel so good, right? Because like I feel like if I'm anybody in that movie, I'm Peter. I'm that Peter. Like
I feel you.
really Peter. And I like that he's trying to do the right thing, but I know that he doesn't like it, right? Like you could tell by his it's a weird thing to say when you're talking about an animated movie, but his body language.
Mhm.
You could tell by his body language, the tone of his voice that he's not really fully on board with what's happening.
Well, you can
But-
tell from a couple of them. There's like their gut
Yeah.
feeling is just like what they're doing is wrong, and
Yeah, the
Miles
looks-
is right.
There's looks that a lot of them give to
Wait,
each other.
what are
throughout
they
the-
doing?
They're-
Because I missed that.
Oh,
What are
yeah.
they doing?
So I
Huh?
guess we forgot to talk about Miles's canon
Yeah.
event
Yes.
for when Miguel was talking about it. Miles's dad is becoming a captain, and basically he's gonna die in 2 days. And
Okay.
their plan is to keep him there so that he doesn't try and save his dad
Mhm.
and cause shit.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so some are on board and some are not.
At the current point in
Yeah.
the movie, they're all on board, except for Miles.
Except for mine. Yeah, I was gonna be like,
Well, they're on board
Ish.
ish. Yeah. The amount of aggression to which they're on board
Yeah.
is different. Like Peter B is just kind of like trying to talk to Miles. Everybody else is kind of chasing after Miles. So
And Gwen is sort of chasing, but not really. Oh, and Spider-Punk just flat out quits. He's like, I'm
Oh, yeah.
I'm done. And he
I
leaves.
know.
Pretty bad.
I honestly
Like,
like
let
in,
me- I don't know
Sorry.
Spider-Punk, but I think he's becoming my favorite
Oh,
Spider-Man.
That's a
Oh,
good
absolutely.
One. Yeah,
And he
He's
would be your
absolutely
I
gonna be your
like that
favorite.
vibe of like, I'm done. I'm gonna head out.
exactly.
Spider-Punk was absolutely always on Miles's side. Like,
Yep.
from moment one, like he's trying to help out because fuck the establishment. Like,
Exactly.
that's exactly what Spider-Punk
He's
is.
literally
And
saying
he
it
sees
out
that in
loud
Miles.
to Miguel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, even Peter B. Parker, who's a dad, is on board with this?
He's not.
He
not on
is,
board
but
with
not
it, but-
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he wants
I
to.
mean,
He
even
wants.
being on the fence is kind of weird.
It is, but
The whole
Yeah.
thing is weird.
it is.
The whole Spider HQ with what Miguel is doing is wrong
Mhm.
and weird and fucked.
It's
So
very
you're not-
totalitarian. Like it
is,
feels like
100%.
Very Kang.
It is very Kang.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, like the whole, like all of the Kangs in the end of Quantum Mania compared to all the Spider-Men, like, yeah.
Oh my
Well,
god, I
and-
rewatched that
and the
movie
way-
yesterday for the second time. I don't know why.
Why did you watch it twice?
Why?
I don't know. I thought like maybe I didn't get it the first time.
No,
It
you
was
got
quite
it.
dark. I don't know.
No,
Yeah, I did.
yeah.
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I do want to bring up Film Theory just did a video about this movie and specifically talking about the canon events, but saying that, you know, Miguel's got it completely wrong because, you know, when you see like in the other Marvel movies, it's mostly like the combination of people from different alternate realities. So that actually Miguel is making things worse by like bringing every single Spider-Man from every single dimension into his own.
hmm
I mean, I don't know if I quite buy that, but you know, it's
an interesting
always
theory.
an interesting theory. Yeah.
Yeah.
A film theory.
Hey.
Yeah.
So Miles ends up leaving this universe with the help of Spider-Bite, and there's this machine, Giraffe, that scans your DNA and sends you to the universe where that DNA is from. And
Yes, because they
it's right out of the
have
fucking Matrix.
they make prisons for like incursions, basically, for like people that have escaped their dimension, and so they've
Ooh.
got to send them back.
Who does that? They make
the
prison,
spider
like, ooh.
the spider society like
Yeah.
finds people that have escaped their dimension, and you know they put them in a cage to you know
So, like, they're the
imprison them
TVA,
for a
basically.
while. Yeah,
yeah, the
yeah,
TVA,
kind
yeah,
of,
yeah,
and then
pretty
send
much.
them back, and you know where we get like where I gasped with
Donald Glover.
one of their cameos. Yeah.
Donald Glover from Homecoming, but in a Prowler outfit. It was also an audible gasp for me.
In live action too, like
in live
just
action.
flat out.
I did the Spider-Man point. I pointed it
yeah. But yeah, that's how Miles is able to get back, because like he gets into one of these prisons.
Yeah, so he gets into this matrixy machine. He gets sent back to a universe where from whence he came, and Miguel is pissed off. So
he knows his dad is gonna die, so
he's gonna try and save him. Yeah.
So we're back to the
back to reality. We say
that's we're not back at it. There's so much more.
There's so much more. So Miguel gets pissed off at Gwen and sends her home to her universe without. So they all have these little wristwatches that keep them from glitching.
Ben 10.
Yeah, very Ben 10. That's a reference I understood, oddly enough. And but it also helps them jump from universe to universe. But Miguel takes it away, shoos Gwen back to her universe, and she has this beautiful moment with her dad where she's still hurt that he tried to arrest her, and talks about how she couldn't tell him because she's pulled in all sorts of directions, which all these spider people are, which also, just being a teenager, you're pulled in all sorts of directions. So I fully understand. Right. And she finds out that her dad quit being a captain. And so that canon event is not going to happen in her universe. What do you guys think about this beautiful moment? Also beautifully animated watercolor sequence, like gorgeous.
With just so many messages in that too. So
yeah. Thoughts?
This is my probably I know we have the thing on here about favorite visual moments, but like this is just one of my favorite moments in the film period. Their whole conversation is just so raw and so visceral, and you feel the entire thing.
How old is your daughter?
My daughter's 7.
She's 7. Mine is 8, turning 9 this year. And there are times when we get into fights so badly, and then like we get these moments where we come back together and we sort of reconcile. Yeah. And it felt like this moment. It felt so real, and it like broke my heart.
It's definitely not the same as like doing with a 16-year-old, but no, Eric, like I've definitely had those same ones, and like I do feel it, like with both my kids. Obviously, like more with my daughter, she's the older one.
Yeah, and exactly.
She's also, like listen, she's 7. We always make fun of her a little bit, like 7 going on 16. She's very, very smart and very sure of herself.
My eldest is way too smart for her age. Like she's like street.
Exactly.
She's like cunning. It kills my brain.
No,
in a good way.
It's really hard, but like, this moment, like, I made me tear up, and I think the hug, right, too, is just the colors, right? Like, there's bi flag colors, there's trans flag colors. Like, this is just, there's so many other messages in this that are just this is. Yeah, probably second favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah, MC.
Oh yeah, I mean, like it's such a great scene. Just everything about it, and like as Julian was saying, like with the coloring, it's like you might as well have written, this is a queer metaphor right on the screen. Like all of this, like this father trying to come to terms with the secret life of his daughter, and only trying to do what he thought, like honestly thought was best, because he was trying to support or trying to avenge her best friend, and not really understanding what was going on with her. And then as soon as he finds out the truth, she fucks off for months and months, and just having these two come back together, and the idea that Captain Stacy is no longer a captain, like in almost every dimension, it is Captain Stacy.
Mhm.
So is the canon event going to move to another captain, or has it just been completely averted in this dimension? Is it just proving that Miguel doesn't know what he's talking about?
Or it's just, I think, yeah. No, I
Proving that-
agree all of
proving,
that.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like the algorithm is just wrong. Like they're focusing in on one specific thing, and when it's like a bunch of things that make a person the person, and that's basically what they're trying to say the whole time with everyone.
Well,
Oh,
it sounds a lot like a cult, finding meaning in things that are just up to.
yeah, I mean, they sort of
know,
are a giant spider cult.
Yeah.
Yeah, following one
No,
person, and then his word is
Maybe.
law. Like it's
Yep.
crazy. Like no one except for Spider-Punk ever went up against him, really. And Spider-Punk just did it the whole time because that's his deal, and he's awesome.
Yeah.
So
I was also going to say,
Yeah.
in when back at Spider-Man HQ, like Miguel's, we were talking about how it's like totalitarian, right? The way his New York looks, right, with all of like the thin lines, and it's just very clean. It's very sterile, right?
Yeah.
It gives off that vibe. So
which was really interesting because when I saw it the first time, I have the original run of Spider-Man 2099, and his New York was always cyberpunky dark and like
right. No,
it-
I know. Yeah.
so-
So,
so
weird
is it-
that they did that.
yeah. So I wonder if they wanted that creepy utopian vibe for the cult like
Dystopian.
yeah.
Dystopian
No,
and
utopian, not dystopian, because dystopian would be his original run, and then the movie version is utopian.
Is it actually his home dimension, or is it
Oh,
just
yeah.
like a random dimension?
I don't know.
Actually, a really good.
That's a good
point.
question. The
Huh.
technology would be like his, so
Yeah.
and the underside
I'm
sort
not
of looked
sure.
like 2099, but other than that, like
Yeah.
it was very.
I was
clean.
just kind of wondering if they found like a very empty dimension to hold all of these spider people.
Hmm.
Is
could-
that
So wait, everybody is a Spider-Man in that place?
everybody?
Not everyone, but
Yeah.
I
The
think
whole place.
I think
Well,
I
there's
think
like
what,
T-Rex.
when they were underneath and they were doing the car chases, I think those were regular people. I just think the
Oh, no,
all
I thought we were talking about HQ.
I think the HQ
Okay.
was
Everyone in HQ
Yeah.
is a Spider-Man.
but underneath and everywhere else I think it's just regular people. Anyway, so Gwen finds
You're
a
just having a spider problem.
There's a
okay.
spider infestation, yes.
Everywhere.
Yep.
Yep. Gwen talks to her dad. They sort of make up, and he gives her a gift that a Hobie Brown left for her, and it's a punk version of the bracelet, which looks awesome. And I have a 3D file that I want to print.
I really like that guy. He's my favorite.
You
Yeah.
yes, damn straight. Then we go over to Miles, who he's hurrying home because he needs to tell his mom and dad what his deal is. He feels like he's strong enough and powerful enough that he can tell them that he's Spider-Man and he's sure of his powers, and he knows what he can do. Is basically what it comes down to. So he goes home and he starts talking to his mom, and he realizes that things are just a little bit different. And in walks his Uncle Aaron, and he realizes he's in the wrong universe because his DNA is spliced with Spider 42, which was from a different universe. What was your reaction when you found out that he was in the wrong place?
Karen had to be like, I noticed it right away when I saw the spider say 42, and I was like, I noticed the spider say 42 as well, but I just didn't put together right away that that's where he was going. So the whole time running home, like, oh no, he's where he's going. And then it hit me when he's talking to his mom, right? And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What's a
who the hell is
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man? I was like,
Yeah.
Oh shit, the 42. Oh. Gasps. Your Eric audible gasps. Right? You're just like, oh, shit.
I'm never going with any of you to the cinema.
Just don't go see Spider-Man with me. Apparently.
Don't go to Marvel movies with me. I gasp a lot.
They're the ones who are gasping. Like, I didn't say, like, I gasped once.
MC, what do you think of this scene?
It was so well set up because, like, it's all there. Like
Mhm.
they do have like
Mhm.
you know, they show the 42 spider, and then they show that it's, you know, dimension 42. You know, Rio saying you changed your hair, and I mean, like Miles has done nothing with different.
He's never
than
changed his hair. No.
And apparently her eye color is even different in the scene.
Yeah, I think it's green instead of
That's
blue.
very Kelvin verse.
Yeah.
Fair.
And it was such a nice, like the emotion that he has when he's telling his mom that he's Spider-Man. Like it's.
I felt
so
proud of-
heartfelt.
I felt proud.
Yeah,
for,
it was
like,
so nice.
100%.
And then her just like having no fucking clue what he's talking about. And I mean, like, it's even bigger than just that Uncle Aaron is still alive, but that you see, like, on the TV that, like, things are terrible there. Like, the Sinister Six is, like, running things, and, like, it's looking, you know, it's this world has already fallen to pieces.
Yeah,
Doesn't it look like Gotham?
it does.
It's very Gotham.
Yeah, it looked great.
Yeah.
Then his Uncle Aaron shows up. He takes him upstairs and he meets the Prowler, who is Miles Morales of this universe. Sorry for spoiling that, Giraffe.
So wait, there's two Miles Morales?
He's in the wrong
Yes,
universe.
Yep.
He's not in his own.
Okay. Oh,
He's-
and is that the ending of the movie everybody was pissed about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
You know, I read everything about a movie before going to see it. I have no problem about spoilers because I actually like knowing the story before going to a movie because first of all, I operate in a foreign language, so I'm gonna miss half of the whatever the fuck they're saying.
Yeah.
And then between what I'm imagining right now in my head about what you all said, I know the movie is gonna be something different, and I'm gonna be like, oh, interesting. Not like in my head.
I do that.
Nice.
I'm a really big stickler for Marvel movies. I don't want to be spoiled about like any of the big twists and turns. But when it comes to Star Wars, I want to be spoiled about everything. I don't know why for Star Wars for some reason, but it's like, oh, the Star Wars spoiler Reddit, like I'm there every day. Like I want to know.
That's
everything.
hilarious.
I think it's a matter. It's a way for me to like not be anxious.
Yeah.
So if I know what the movie, you know, it's like kids. I never grew up from that phase where you watch like 15 times the same movie when you're a kid. You know, I do the same thing. Like Jess is always asking me, like, "You've seen that movie already?" I was like, "Yeah." You're rewatching it? Yeah. And I rewatch things like 3 or 4 times because first of all, I need to process the story in a foreign language yet again, and French movies suck. So sorry,
Fair.
don't watch them often.
Yeah.
But I think it's a matter of like dealing with anxiety. I'm not stressed about what is going to happen to the hero because I know what's going to happen. I just want to know how it's going to happen.
Right.
It's like tragedy. You know they're all gonna die in the end, but like the question is how they're gonna die and how they're gonna
And how
get
many
there.
of them are gonna die?
Yeah, exactly.
You think everybody's gonna die in Prodigy?
Not Prodigy, in tragedies.
Tragedy.
Oh, I thought you said Prodigy. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
They're all gonna die. Spoiler.
All the kids. Oh man.
All the kids.
You guys know me. I watch one trailer and then I won't watch anymore because I want to be surprised. I like the anticipation. I think episode 1 ruined it for me because I knew everything about that movie, and then I saw it, and it still was episode 1 of Star Wars.
Well, it's a question of the fandom also. Like if there's a new Star Trek movie, I know I'm not gonna want to know how it's gonna end because I know enough to just deal with whatever is going to happen and see all the references and understand everything that's gonna go on. For Spider-Man, let's be honest, I know nothing. So right now, I'm like, I know stuff. I'm gonna be like, oh, that's Spider-Punk. Nice, I like him.
Read his comic book. It's very
Oh my
good.
god, you're gonna love Spider-Punk.
It's
You are
so
gonna
good.
adore him.
I still haven't seen the trailer for Strange New Worlds. And I've seen like 6 episodes.
Out of everything that happened in this movie, him being Prowler was the most predictable thing for me.
Really?
The minute-
I didn't.
That's the thing I saw
yeah.
coming, but I still like when he takes off the mask and the way he says like I am Miles Morales, right? Like he says it like with like a Latino tinge, like in his accent, right? Like what our Miles doesn't do, right?
Yeah.
Like you know, just from like his accent and the way he speaks and the way he looks, he's got cornrows, and this is a very different Miles, and it's really cool. And even if I knew it was coming, another audible.
I didn't realize.
Prowler has an A in Spanish.
Sorry.
Yeah, he probably does have an A in Spanish.
Yeah.
If he goes to school. If he goes to school.
I mean, yeah.
I didn't expect the Prowler at all. Like when I saw Uncle Aaron, I was like, oh shit, he's the Prowler, and then he has his little buddy Miles. But the fact that he's the Prowler and not his uncle, that's the thing that surprised me. I was just like, fuck. Yeah. That's a good. The idea of duality of Miles, like where he could have gone if he didn't have his father around, and it's fascinating. Any other thoughts about this sequence before we talk about the
I mean, like, the thing is, like, if like with this whole idea of canon, which I think will be brought up again in, you know, the third one, because of course it will.
Yeah.
Will Miles be thrown for a loop because he is I forget the term that they exactly used for the things that weren't supposed to happen.
Did we talk about that? I don't even remember.
No, which we didn't.
You have not. I don't know what we're talking about.
So Miles is an aberration. Basically, he was not supposed to become Spider-Man because the scientist, the Spot, teleported that Spider 42 from Earth 42, and it was supposed to go to a different person, and instead it bit Miles. And that's the reason why Peter died in his universe, because he wasn't supposed to be Spider-Man. Or at least that's what Miguel thinks.
That's what Miguel said, which is probably BS.
And we don't like Miguel because Miguel works for Kang. I got this.
But yeah, I could see Miles having like this huge identity crisis of like, is this who I'm supposed to be? Like, if I was never supposed to become Spider-Man, was I supposed to like take up the mantle of the Prowler after Uncle Aaron died? Like, what, you know?
And like, who killed her? Sorry?
Into something that I hate, which is like, I'm gonna fight against myself.
I mean, I'm
different upbringing. He grew up only with his mom.
The last image is Miles getting ready for a fight, so you know he's gonna fight himself.
I hate this.
You do, but you know what? I have a very strong prediction. I think that's going to be a one and done. I don't think that's going to be the theme of the next movie at all.
Yeah.
I think he's going to fight him once, even if it's a fight. Like, honestly, I could see him just like escaping out the window, right? Like, it's not set in stone. And I'm actually with you. I don't want to see them fight each other. As cool as the animation probably would be, I just want him to escape. And like, I want to see the reconverging of Gwen and Miles coming back together.
Speaking of Gwen, we find out that Gwen starts assembling her own team of people that believe in Miles. This includes Spider-Ham, or Spider-Pig. Why did I say Spider-Ham?
I like Spider-Ham.
Spider-Pig.
I like Spider-Ham.
I like. Anyway, so we get Spider-Pig, we get Spider-Man Noir, who is noticeably absent in this movie.
My other man.
We get Penny Parker, who is the robot anime one from the first one. We get Spider-Bite, Spider-Punk, and Spider-Man India. That's the Spider-Gwen team. Did I miss anyone there?
I've heard that Penny is way better in that second movie.
Penny? She's hardly in it.
Penny's only in it for a minute.
Yeah,
she's only in it for a
but
minute.
apparently, like, the way they portrayed her in the first was way different than in the comics. I was reading people complaining.
The
about this.
robot was different than the comics.
The robot? That's all? People were complaining about that?
Just from what I remember. She does look more anime now. Like, she was cuter in the first one. So I don't know if that was the issue. I didn't have an issue.
Am I wrong in thinking that the cowboy Spider-Man was with Gwen too? Or am I imagining that?
I don't recall that.
Might have been. There were a couple other Spider-Men, I think, that, you know.
We know that Miguel's got his, like, you know, his little evil team, right? He's got Ben Reilly with him.
And Jessica Drew.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So because he was sent to the wrong universe, basically we don't know if in his universe his dad is still alive or not.
We don't,
No.
and that's probably going to be part 3
Yeah.
or part 2 of
Definitely
this part 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part 3.
Just wanted to check.
So the team is Peter B, Mayday, Paviter, Hobie, Margot, Spider-Man Noir, Penny Parker, and Spider-Ham. It is Spider-Ham.
It is.
I thought it was
Spider-Ham.
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 Simpsons Spider Pig.
Spider. Yeah, Simpsons.
It's,
That's right.
it's Spider-Pig is the Simpsons, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
fair
Spider
enough.
Pig is a Simpson.
Can I also make a brave prediction for
Do
the
it.
next one?
I like it.
The way that they set up Peter in this one with his conversation with MJ and like the baby and about like doing the right thing. You know how Into the Spider-Verse started with Miles, this one started with Gwen. I think part 3 starts with this Peter's point of view.
I'm gonna spoil this.
I can see that.
It is starting with the third one. They've talked about it already. Unless they
How
change
do you
anything.
know?
They were talking about how they wanted each of the movies to be a different perspective at the beginning. And really this is a lot from Gwen's perspective. Like a lot of the movie is.
It is, which I loved. I love.
Yeah, and they wanted Miles in the first one because they wanted to introduce this character and really make him the main character. But the third one, they want to take a mentor view. I don't know. I can't remember what they said.
Yeah. I also think that Jessica Drew is going to be turning very quickly against
I agree.
Yes, she has to.
I feel like
She's
she's going to
gonna
be the
feel
one
like
that tries to get Miguel to turn.
I could see that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Sure.
I really don't want Miguel to be the bad guy for most of the movie next. I don't want that.
What is it? The term that TV tropes use? Well-intentioned extremist, which is,
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah, that's
how
what I was
would
gonna
describe
say.
it.
He's like that kind of villain that has a motivation that is good to their eye. It's not just
Yeah.
like chaos and destruction. He wants to avoid that in his
Yeah.
opinion, which
Yep.
is, I mean,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
If you're the Empire, the rebels are the bad guy, you know.
No.
Well, and this season The Mandalorian definitely
Yeah.
you
Yep.
know.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Any themes of the movie that we didn't really talk about that you want to talk about?
Oh, I think we covered a lot.
I think we did. I'm trying to look at all my like notes that I'm just breaking down. I was like,
I have
For
notes.
somebody that didn't see the movie, I had a lot of opinions.
they were good opinions though.
Thank you.
We
The
talked
dog
about
is four.
the dog is there.
Remember this.
MC, you're
There is one.
You had an audible
interesting
gasp.
thing to discuss. With all of this discussion of canon events, the relationship between Miles and Gwen,
Mhm.
I think, is very interesting in this movie because there's obviously we know that Miles is just all about her, like,
Yeah.
and why would he not? Because
She's amazing.
Spider-Gwen is perfect.
Yep.
But the connection she feels with him and her hesitance to get involved because she thinks that that could lead to her becoming one of these many Gwen Stacy's in the Spider-Verse. And we didn't really talk about their scene when they're upside down.
Oh, so cute.
It's just so cute, so well animated.
Perfect.
But the emotionality between these two is just so wonderful.
Yes. I
Mhm.
it's hard to explain how good Spider-Gwen is in this movie. Like she's such a positive model for people to see. Like it's so incredible. I can hear someone sneezing upstairs. Like this is when I saw this movie, I didn't go with anyone. I saw it at night, so I couldn't bring my kids. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, my kid already likes seeing Spider-Gwen just from the first movie, but seeing her portrayal in this movie and how sure of herself she is, but still, in the Spider-Man way, Spider-Person way. Man, I lost
I'm
my.
99% sure that Cecily's first cosplay is going to be Spider-Gwen. Like she's like,
Oh, she'll be so cute.
Right?
If I show my kid this movie, this sweater is gonna be gone. I know it's gonna be gone.
So you'll never wear that
Listen,
again.
No,
The destiny of a sweater is to be stolen. We all know this.
that's fair.
True.
somebody else wear your sweater. It's always like this.
Yep.
And you never wear your own. That's how it is.
Oh, going back to the Spider-Gwen thing, I like that she's just not the romantic interest for Miles.
Mhm.
She is her own person, and that's not the main driving force for either Miles or for her. Like it's a big driving force for Miles, but
Well, I mean,
so
he's
is
15, so.
but also so is seeing Peter B. Parker again, right? He misses these people, and I think he misses the connection more than anything.
Is Gwen older than Miles?
Yes,
I believe so.
He
I
is
believe
about like a year
she's
or
supposed
two,
to be
right?
like 17, and
And
he's
he's
like
16.
Okay, well, same
I
age.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same age. Okay.
I just want to repeat a little bit what you said, Eric. As much as Miles is like my character, like he's my Spider-Man, he's probably my second favorite Marvel character.
Mhm.
I really was going into this hoping that this would be a bit more of a Gwen movie because I love Spider-Gwen as well, and I loved Haley Steinfeld's portrayal in the first one so much, and I was so delighted going into this one to this basically be a little bit more of a Gwen movie than a Miles movie, and it was great for Cecily because she couldn't shut up about it. Like that's what I wanted to come out of the movie, right? Like
Yeah.
Caleb's four, he's just like, it's Spin because Spider-Man and his amazing friends on Disney Plus. Like, it's Spin, that's so cool. But Cecily's like, oh man, like Spider-Gwen, and it's like it's a different reaction, and it's so cool. So yeah.
Her reaction to Jessica Drew when she first shows up, and she's like, adopt me. And she's like, what? And I was like, oh my god, Haley Steinfeld, man, she's a wonder. Like she's so good. I want to see her in more things. Let's be honest.
I am a Haley Steinfeld OG. I saw her in theaters with her first movie in True Grit.
Oh man, she was so good in that movie.
Which is so.
Oh,
fucking
she's
good.
in True Grit. That's
That was her
true.
first ever movie. Yeah.
I remember seeing interviews with her, and then she starts talking about her Lola. I'm like, are you Filipino? And she is. She's part Filipino, and I'm like, what the fuck? So every time I see her, and it's something that my daughter's, I'm like, she's part Filipino, just like you guys. Not that I'm being like, you should be like her, but it's more like, hey, look, part biracial.
Representation matters.
Exactly, biracial representation is awesome. Have we talked about? Okay, let's just go into like visual animation sound, just because I want to know what your favorite sequence is. Julian, you said it was the Manhattan sequence, was it, or am I wrong?
No, well, it was one of my favorites. No, my absolute favorite, where I thought this movie hit its visual peak, even though I think I said Mumbattan was. No, I think this movie hit its visual peak with Gwen speaking with her dad, with the colors and the details in both of their faces. Like these are this scene was so well acted and so well animated, and all the colors in this, like somehow it might as well have been live action. Like that's how visually stunning. Like I used to talk about this a lot on Everything Is Permitted. I'm really anal about animation.
You said that on here before too.
Okay, so people know I'm really anal about animation. It takes a lot for me to like really get like immersed into an animated film or television show. Both of these movies I just adore, and they, again, like they might as well be live action for me, and that scene was kind of the epitome for it for me. Like just like the purples and the blues and the pinks, and the way that they are able to animate Gwen and her father to emote exactly what they're feeling so perfectly is just like the peak of this film.
MC, favorite sequence?
It was Mumbattan. Like that was just such a beautiful sequence. I just can't even.
I can't.
I think I already said it before, like when we were talking about it.
It's true.
It was just so beautifully done.
Giraffe?
I don't have a favorite scene, but I have to say that what I appreciated from the first one, it was that I was watching a movie and I felt like I was reading a comic book.
Yes.
It was giving me the exact same feeling of color and movement, and I don't know how everybody's brain function when you read a comic book, but I had the impression that sometimes I forget if I've read that in a comic book or if it was in the movie.
Yeah.
And to continue on what Julian was saying, animation since the pandemic, basically, I think has taken over quality. We see that on Star Trek. I'm gonna die on that hill. The animated Star Trek is so absolutely incredible. The quality of Prodigy is mind-boggling.
Mhm.
If you think that one episode of Prodigy is what, a third, it's costing a third of what
Yeah.
an episode of Stranger
Mhm.
World cost. Um,
It's
and I'm pretty
astounding.
sure this movie cost less than, and live action movie.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yay, golden age of animation. Let's go. I want more.
Giraffe, did you read the Lower Decks comic book?
So good.
I have not yet. I'm reading Resurgence right now because I'm
Oh.
playing Resurgence.
That's fair.
I have to catch up.
There are all these editor boxes in Lower Decks where they explain things or they make jokes, and they do that in this movie.
We
Like,
do.
and it's just
Mhm.
like that's
Well,
why.
I used
Sorry.
to see that on, like, when anime, for example, I watching anime
Mhm.
and they were like explanation from the translator, and I really like that, like giving you
Contacts and stuff. Yeah.
context
Mhm.
for what you were watching,
Yeah.
because it's great.
I think for me,
Scolia.
for me, the first sequence, like the Gwen intro into the Vulture fight, was like they set the bar, and it just
Mhm.
like there was an expectation as soon as that happened, and they knocked it out of the park for the rest of the movie. That Vulture,
I mean, the Vulture
animation.
fight was like that far away from me from taking
Yeah.
it. It was so good.
It's astounding.
It was cool when they took that fight into the Da Vinci universe for like a hot second. That was really cool.
Mm.
Mhm.
Right? That happened, right? I'm
Did
not
it?
making that
I
up.
don't remember.
Yeah,
I
it did.
believe you're right.
You're
Yes,
making
it did.
stuff up.
We'll have to watch it.
It could be. Maybe
You
I just
wouldn't
wanted-
know. We'll figure it out. We'll watch it again.
Well, I'll watch it soon, so I'll
Yeah.
let you know.
I'll probably see it again
I'll keep
anyway.
an eye open.
Both eyes. I think
Now that I can see also, it's
I think from this, like the first movie into the Spider-Verse, onwards, I think it set a bar for animation. I think that's why we see things like
Mhm.
Puss in Boots. We see Prodigy. I think everyone was like, you know what, animation has to be this good, like because it can be this good. It can be that revolutionary. Were there any complaints about the film? What was there something up that you were, Yeah, Julian.
the sound,
Like the Explain.
volume, and they had, and Nerdist did a whole article about it. It's not the film's fault, though it might be. They're not, theaters for whatever reason are not playing it at the film's intended volume. So a lot of people have been seeing it and saying that the sound design is too low, and like you couldn't hear certain things.
Are you
at
talking about
certain times, and
dialogue?
No, I'm talking about the entire sound mix,
Oh.
like from like effects to everything. And apparently, is it Lord Miller and Lord?
Yeah.
They were actually sending stickers to movie theaters to tell them. So apparently, the default at a lot of movie theaters is to play things on a 6, and apparently, Across the Spider-Verse should be being played at a 7. And they're not putting it at a 7, so they've been sending it to like all the theaters to give their projectionists to like put on their thing to say we played this at a 7 to get it to like played, which seems like just like a pretty glaring error that like they didn't get that right. Like I don't know, it's really weird.
I just looked it up. They've sent out updated versions of the movie.
Yeah.
to-
I was gonna say, aren't
So,
they all
there you
downloads now too? So
They are, yeah. Like movies get like remember Cats got DLC.
yes, that. I saw Cats.
Still not the
You
butthole.
made me watch that movie, Julian, and I will never forgive
But
you.
did you see it in
Oh,
theaters?
jeez.
Anything.
No.
Good.
I will watch it on the Discord.
Just watching it in general.
Just like seeing it in a giant format was the worst thing I've. One of the worst things I've.
It was
It was so
Scarring.
much. It was so much, and
All
it was
that
all
for
right
human
there.
sacrifice. This is the weirdest story. Also, Like,
Every
I've-
time I get the mildest interest, like to like ironically watch that movie, I just watch the filmed version.
The
of
stage version, the pro shot is so much better.
The pro shot's great.
Yeah. Plus, it had an amazing cast. Any complaints for you, MC?
Not enough Jessica Drew.
Yes.
I agree with that 100%. For me, when I got the sound mix, the dialogue was quiet in a couple sequences, and I heard that's an IMAX thing, an IMAX issue, which is very confusing. But I think this is a very, very mild complaint, but there wasn't a what's up
Mild complaint.
a mild. They didn't have a what's up danger sequence. There wasn't a song, or like the soundtrack wasn't like there and being like, it wasn't part of his soul. It felt like when in the first movie, it felt like you were part of that community, like because of the different types of music, and
You felt like you were listening to his playlist.
yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't
You
get
know,
that.
when
in the
like
second
I
one.
don't know, I'm one of these person that like I'm always listening to music when I'm outside.
Same.
And I feel like it's my soundtrack. Like I have my own soundtrack when I do things. And I felt you were listening to his soundtrack, like his own playlist.
There has
which
not
was
been a
fantastic.
week since I saw Into the Spider-Verse where I haven't listened to that soundtrack. Like it
Yeah.
is my favorite like musical soundtrack of anything.
Anytime it comes up in my car, I just like turn my car music up. It's awesome. That's
Yeah.
that soundtrack.
All right, final thoughts and rating out of 10. 10 what? What do you think? Yeah, let's go with 10 thwips. Giraffe.
Well, I'm gonna go see it soon.
Did we
I
make
feel
you want to
Blade is
watch
gonna
it more?
make me-
Or
Yeah, well, I already wanted to watch it.
Mhm.
Now I'm a bit like scared because the thing I loved the most about the first one was the music.
Mhm.
So I'm like, I
The
love
music-
the music is that
You'll
okay?
find other things to love.
Yeah.
Like
Agreed.
even
I
like
really want Spider-Man to be on streaming services for people.
you need a
like me,
VPN so you can watch
please.
it on Netflix in Canada.
Yeah, well, that's too much work.
That
But
is-
the other thing,
you should
The
have a
other thing-
VPN for several other reasons. Just saying.
That's true.
sure. Well, yeah, no, I'll go watch it. I'm sure I'm gonna enjoy it thoroughly.
Nice. MC.
This is a 10, absolute 10. I can't wait to see the next one. I think that this ended great. Like I know a lot of people have been complaining about it, but I was here for it.
Mhm.
Loved everyone in it. We didn't mention Andy Sandberg as Ben Riley, which is like
I did not
he's so
realize
good
that
as
was him. Oh, that makes
Yeah.
perfect sense.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that's so perfect. Yes.
yeah.
Julian.
I so badly wanted to give this a 10, but I'll preface this by saying I don't agree with all the people like, oh, it's a half complete movie because it's part 1 of 2, which I say bullshit. Like it's fine. But I do need to see the whole thing before I can give it that perfect score, so it's a 9.5. It's so
Go
almost
higher.
there.
Go 9-9. Go 9-9.
9-9. 9-9.
9-9.
9-9.
9-9.
Andy Samberg. I'm gonna give it a 10. I love this movie. I adore it.
Oh,
You know
God
what?
damn it, Eric. Fine, I'll give it a 10.
Damn
Fuck.
straight. It's hard
Peer
because
pressure, let's go.
it's hard because Into the Spider-Verse is like 100% a 10, if not 11 to 12.
Mhm.
And I think this
Yeah.
movie is just a little bit less, but not less enough that it would be a 9.9. I love this movie. Obviously, we all recommend this movie. I don't even need to. I don't know why I wrote that down. But is there any comic books that you guys think that people going into this movie would want to read?
Oh, that's a good question because I've not read any Spider-Man comic books. So
Hey,
tell
Julian.
me.
Just go right from the beginning and go to Brian Michael Bendis' Ultimate Run that started it all. It is fantastic. It is amazing. He also continues it on with just self-titled Spider-Man later on. I will also say, even though he's not in it a lot, go and read the all-new X-Men run, which is fantastic. And Miles has some fun times with the all-new X-Men, which is a funny name because they're not the all-new X-Men. They're the old X-Men brought to the
The
future.
same X-Men
great
as
run.
always.
That's right.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
it's
but
like
sure.
it's like the original like 4, right? It's like it's Cyclops, it's Jean, it's Hank, and Iceman from
Is
like
it the ones that are teenagers? Like, because I know that was a thing for a while.
That was an early 2010 thing. I think
Yeah,
that's
this
done.
was
I'm still trying to figure out how like American comic book function, because like when you
They
tell me
don't.
that, I'm like,
you don't.
I'm just gonna go to the comic book shop and I'm gonna be like, can I have that? And they'll be like, yes.
MC.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
In terms of recommendation, Ultimate Spider-Man would have been what I would say. I mean, it's such a good book, and that's where everything started. So
There's a
Yeah.
new. Oh wait, new. This was last year, 2022. Spider-Punk had his own. He finally got his own series, and that came out last year. It's quite good. The Spider-Man India series was good. I can't remember when it came out. I think it was like 20. I want to say 18. Is that right? It might have been earlier. And then just this month, I think it was this month, they released Spider-Man: The Ghost Spider Epic Era Collection, and it collects the first run of Spider-Gwen story. So, oh god, which books were they? It is collecting Edge of Spider-Verse #2 from 2014, Spider-Gwen 1 to 5, Spider-Gwen 1 to 8. That's the 2015 one. Spider-Woman Alpha, her run in Silk, and then a couple other things. It's a good collection to if you want to see where Spider-Gwen came from. And a lot of the art styles that you saw in this movie were done in covers of that original, I think, Spider-Woman run. So yeah, that's it.
The all new X-Men run, part of why it's so good and why Miles is so good in that when he does show up is because the all new X-Men run was also Bendis, so the characters all flow perfectly. Yeah.
Have you guys seen Donald Glover's Weirdo? His stand-up.
yes,
If you want to,
Oh yeah,
if
it's
you
on Netflix.
if you want to know the Spider-Man drama and why,
Oh my god, this part is so absolutely hilarious. I love it.
it's also on YouTube, so just check it out. Julian, if you haven't seen it, just watch the whole thing because there's
Watch
an
the whole
uncut
thing,
version.
the whole thing.
watch the whole thing. Yeah,
Yeah, watch the whole thing.
It's-
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
I've watched it like 7 times, and every time I laugh. Until
and
I
Giraffe
cry.
and I use
Yeah.
gifts from it a lot.
As you
Good.
should. Good. the mom using the safe word in the grocery store, that scene kills me because I see it all the time. And then I try not to do it myself when I'm out with my kids. I'm like, I said dolphin. I said dolphin. Remember, that's our special word. I had a talk with Tala today because she was having a tantrum out at the comic book store today. I was like, dude, you gotta chill. You gotta chill. And I was all that scene just kept on going around in my head. I was like, this is not working out at all because little kids are assholes,
I
apparently.
think it's the wolfing when he's a nanny that cracks me up.
Yep.
When he has to run up a tree.
Yep. Or, oh my God, ordering KFC. That scene too. Oh my God. Anyway, Julian, just watch it. It's so good.
We should do a watch along.
Yes. Oh my God, we
Watch
can.
along and react.
We'll do
Because
it.
like I know it by heart.
Me
I
too.
know it by heart.
We'll do. You know, we could do it. We can do it as a Patreon thing on Strange New Pod. Speaking of, where can we find you guys? Giraffe.
Oh, me or the pod?
No, you and the pod or whatever.
Moi. Okay. I'm Giraffe. You can find me, I think, almost everywhere. Lyrical _ Giraffe with 1 F. Because it's French. And Spotted Giraffe also. Yeah, follow me if you like Star Trek cosplay and just Star Trek stuff.
MC.
I feel I'm like very like one thing. I post only like Star Trek stuff. Like
Now you can start
don't-
posting about Spider-Man.
yeah, I have over like area of interest. Archaeology sometime, archaeology a little bit.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Are you gonna watch Indiana Jones? I just want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn straight.
Okay, so side note, sorry.
We're all about the tangents here.
You know, like Expedition Unknown with Josh Gates.
Yeah.
You know that show on Discovery?
Mm-hmm.
So I watch it because I find it absolutely incredible. And I was on a roundtable with a person that works on that show. And I was like, that's funny because I used to be an archaeologist, and I watched this. I was like, oh yeah, because it's good archaeology. I was like, no, because it's like what we think archaeology is, and it's not at all. And I'm like, I wanted that job. That's the job I wanted, but that's not at all the way we do. But that's cool. So yeah, I love everything Indiana Jones, like that glamour vision of archaeology, adventurous. That is not what archaeologists do at all. If you want to do that, don't become an archaeologist.
Be a
Sorry.
Tomb Raider.
I was lied to.
MC.
I am MC Frodus everywhere. So Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky. I do have my own YouTube channel where I can talk about things that these guys don't want to talk about, or things that these guys do want to talk about. It's just I want to talk about by myself. And I did actually just launch a second YouTube channel, which is MC Frodus Art, which is where I can post time lapses of me drawing, tutorials of my crafts, and I've only posted one thing, but I'm going to be posting more, so check that out.
It's
So,
awesome though.
I didn't
You're a
realize
hero.
there was a time lapse thing in Procreate. So once you said that, I went and looked it up. I was like, fuck, look at all of these videos of me drawing. It's amazing.
I know, right? Sorcery.
I know.
Oh, you should plug your commissions. I don't know if you still take.
Oh
commissions,
yes,
but-
and also I'm taking art commissions right now. So hit me up on any social media, and we can arrange for me to do drawings of
See, I'm
whatever
a
you
good
like.
agent.
You will not be
Thank you,
disappointed.
Giraffe.
Hit her up for sure. Julian.
Hi, it's me. You can find me everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, at Julian Has the Con. I don't do a whole lot of tweeting or Instagramming these days. I'm too busy doing this stuff for Strange New Pod. But occasionally on my personal Twitter, you can find bad soccer takes and even worse wrestling takes. So,
And for those that don't know, what is this strange new pod?
oh, that you ask. I feel like everybody knows. That is our podcast that we are all on. We are live every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time over on YouTube. We are currently talking about the brand new season of Strange New Worlds, and we are going to be talking about the court-martial of #1 this Thursday, which we cannot wait for.
With the legal gigs.
Yeah, I can't wait for
We're
this
at
Thursday.
Strange New Pod everywhere there as well. Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram, strangenewpod.com.
You'll see us all over. We're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Join the Discord for them. Join it for us. We're everywhere. Everything.
For the
Yeah,
watch along.
yeah. Watch
The
along.
Donald Glover watch along.
Oh my god, I can't wait. Oh, yes. Oh my god. Yes. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I had a tangent that I wanted to go off on and I can't remember what it was. Fuck. It's not important. So, anyway, thank you guys for coming on and talking about Spider-Man. It was fun. I like just randomly talking about stuff. Thipping as Julian thwips his way through this.
Let's do
fun.
the expense again.
I want to. I want to do the expense.
Guys, I don't have a job again anymore. We could do it. It's okay.
Like
We can watch the expense.
I-
Yay.
it's 11:30. I was gonna say I would watch an episode right now. I still would, but I'm tired.
It's 8:30 here. I'm game. I'm not
How
doing
about
anything.
I
I'm
gotta
on
take I
break.
gotta take Cecily to a baseball game tomorrow, but as soon as I'm back, I will pop on the Expanse.
Is that during the day?
Good.
I mean, I
No,
don't.
that's in the evening, like 10.
What do you mean
p.m.
tomorrow?
PM.
What are we
10
talking about?
Tomorrow, tomorrow.
Oh, maybe. Well, we'll talk about it.
Tomorrow.
We'll talk about it
People
not on the
your Twitch
podcast.
just watching you plan.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
It's
You
okay.
You want
That's
to
how these
join?
things
Watch
go.
the
People-
expense. Join Strange New Pod Discord.
Yeah. Anyway, for Draft, for MC, for Julian, I'm Eric. Thanks for coming and talking about us. We're doing the Live Long and Prosper. You know what? We did the Mahjong thing like 7 or 8 years ago, and that's why I started saying it on Strange New Pod like in the first season. So that's sort of funny that it just went over there and we killed it over
like
here.
the thing now, right?
Yeah. So anyway, have a good night, everyone. Thanks for
Maybe
listening.
You do the spider flip instead.
We'll see you guys. I don't know. Whenever we come back, we have D&D probably on Wednesday. Well, I don't know. Everything's up in the air. Goodbye. See ya.
Bye.
That's how we end with chaos.
Well, that's it for us this week on Geeks with Kids. If you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at podcast@geekswithkids.ca. And don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/geekswithkids. Follow us on Twitter at geekswithkidscn. Check out our pics on Instagram at geekswithkids. And you can find all of this good stuff on our website at www.geekswithkids.ca. So if you like what you hear, why don't you hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. This podcast can be found on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, and your favorite podcasting app. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.